Superman is thinking get your easy out of control. And not the other way around.
Game over, man. Game over.
Please, we can kill it.
Wolfman's got hearts.
Nobody trusts anybody now.
Come on, you. Hey, you want to live forever?
Now what?
But no matter what happens, Godzilla will win.
And welcome back to the Monster Movie Stompdown. Of course, you got your host, Sludge, here. My co-host across from me
is Mark,
our brother from Texas.
Ruben.
I'm just going to say, I said the other day, I said, the master from Texas. I'm just going to start doing that. The master from Texas.
Wow.
I think it just sounds good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right.
Master of utter bullcrap.
Yeah, and I'm still in this old, rugged
hey, man,
kitchen chair.
I have not had a chance. It has been a busy week for Sludge.
But hey, Ruben, you're the master. That's all I can.
Yeah, but I'm the master. Oh, bullcrap. although I am from Texas, so there's a whole lot of bullcrap all around here, man. We got plenty of that. We got a slaughterhouse down the road, so there's plenty of that to go around.
See, there you go.
So
I even talked about you, Ruben, on Give Me Back My Horror Movies when I did the guest.
Oh, did you?
There, yeah.
I haven't listened to it yet.
We was plugging something that we're going to talk about a little bit later. Something you got coming up, and I was like, yeah, I told Ruben I want to be a part of this whole new thing, and he was like, no, screw you, man, I don't like you. Nah, Ruben didn't say that. But yeah, so we're pretty excited. We got a lot of cool stuff to talk to you guys about on this episode. Of course, this is our St. Patrick's Day episode. We are releasing it to you early because I'm going on vacation, and I don't know the last time I've ever been on a vacation.
Wow.
Well, last week, wasn't it?
I went on vacation last week.
Oh, I thought it was
some people would argue he's on a vacation all the time.
Constantly.
You know,
all I know is I'll be at work and then I'll hear people.
Yeah.
I'll hear people scream out, "Hey, your son's at the drive-through again!" It's like, oh my gosh.
I'm going on a real vacation. We're going down to Florida for a little over a week. Going to take the kids to Disney.
All right.
So they are super, super excited about it. I picked Universal, but that's okay.
Got outvoted?
I got outvoted. Of course I got outvoted. The wife makes the rules for the vacation.
Oh, this is
so
cool.
I did have one stipulation though for this vacation, and I got it. So I'm not going to complain. All I wanted to be able to go make my own lightsaber. And
there you go. I was saying
ride a
the
Millennium Falcon.
vacation's for him. Yeah. I said, he's saying it's for the kids, but
and
he's
even
going to get a lightsaber.
Yeah, that's Tuesday. Like I'm keeping track. Like I know when I'm going to get my lightsaber. Like it's booked, scheduled, the whole 9 yards.
Yes.
And I was even worried too when I told Sarah. I was like, "That's the only thing I want." She's like, "You don't care about the rides?" I said, "No, I want to ride a Millennium Falcon ride. But the only thing I want to do when it comes to Disney is I want to make a lightsaber." Well, how much is that? And I thought she was going to flip. I was like, $220. She's like, "Okay." I was like, yes! Like,
wow.
So
there's something she wants down there. You just don't know it yet.
Oh, it's going to be anything and everything Disney. Like, hey, I had to. I'm paying for this lightsaber myself, so as long as she's got herself covered, like I said, she's great with the money, so she can get what she wants. Okay, she knows what she's doing.
Before we go any farther, are you okay with that microphone stand
this
right there, man?
This microphone stand is bothering me tonight. I can't
You are
decide.
driving me crazy.
Wow, where I want
sure
this
is. He's been. I was watching him. I'm like, he keeps messing with it.
Oh yeah, he hadn't stopped.
Actually, it started. It started last show. It did start last show. I noticed the last show he was messing with it quite a bit.
I'm just not happy with this thing.
problem.
I don't know, man. I might do something with it.
Get it.
Because I can't decide if I want the mic down here or if I want it up here.
Well,
Everyone listens like, what's he talking about? I mean, we all three see what's going on, so I'm having issues.
Then you're messing with the knobs up there. I'm just like,
man,
you have got
hands
to
are
stop.
fidgety. I'm telling you, there's so much going on, dude. I mean, I'm wired for sound.
Just Charlie, this would have been done and over with if we didn't have to wait for some certain questions. So appreciate that, Charlie.
Yeah, so
he's got fidgety.
He got fidgety because we started calling him out.
Oh yeah,
he had the questions already.
See, Charlie, I told you. There was no point.
Questioning.
I mean, I heard him say that Charlie was eating dinner while they were recording, and they went over to questions.
That's exactly.
That is not what came out of my mouth.
Exactly. Yes.
There's no pleasing them, Charlie.
We see how this works.
These two.
And it was all a setup too on that very first trivia show. You know, I think he let you win so it didn't look like him and Charlie were.
Hey, come on now.
Yeah.
Look, like I even told Charlie today. I said, I plan on my winning streak lasting, but
yeah, that's a good way to do it too.
But I was like, I'm going to study because he said something the other day about it. He's going to try a little harder on these, because he wants to give you guys a chance, And I'm just going to
all I know, I'm still peeved about that trick question about The Rock. Because he was called Rocky Maivia before he was The Rock.
He thought you would have got that. He didn't. He thought that was. He was throwing you a bone there, Ruben.
Yeah.
You know what? And I got cocky. I heard Rocky Maivia, and I just everything else got blocked out. Everything else got blocked out. I'm like, I got this one. This one's all mine. And then afterwards, I said, it was almost too easy. I just sunk my teeth into that one question, that one answer, and I didn't think about it. I said, because he was somewhere before he was in WWE, so Rocky Maivia should have been eliminated because that's what he was at WWF or E, whatever it was at the time.
Pride comes before the fall, my friend.
Yep, and that's what happened. I'm like, I got this one. And then that's why you had to beat me out,
It's all right. We got another chance this week. So, all right. So, again, guys, tons of stuff. We've got an awesome St. Patrick's Day episode ready for you guys because we are reviewing the 1993 Warwick Davis just gem of a movie, Leprechaun. It's definitely one you either love or you hate, and I would almost wager most people love this movie. But we'll get into that. First, just a couple things real quick. I do want to make a plug for a Swedish Nerd over on Instagram. You can check him out at A Swedish Nerd on Instagram or his website, SwedishNerd.com. He handles, it's pretty much just a horror hub, and he does latest horror movie news. He does horror movie reviews, top lists, interviews with people. He talks about the newest podcast. He was generous enough to plug us the other day on Instagram. So I was like, I want to return the favor. He's got a really cool site, really cool Instagram. So go check him out. Give him a follow, give him a like. I wanted to make sure and get that out there for you, brother. Again, we greatly appreciate you plugging us as well. And we made an announcement last week or last episode that we've got. I'm on it tonight. Which way am I going? That we've got 2 new members coming to the Monster Movie Stompdown, and we have finally gotten everything finalized. We actually just. Like I said, these guys are coming on. They're going to be handling a lot of the commercials, the advertisements, and promo stuff. And we did decide that we will be giving them a monthly episode. They're going to get a 15-minute episode where they're going to kind of give their own take on the movies that we review that month. It's going to be really fun and exciting. But we've got everything finalized. They actually just finished. They just sent me back. Well, we were all here working together, honestly. But we just finished the first commercial that they're doing for us, and I'm happy with it. It was a rough process and took a few hours and may have butted heads a little bit because one of them's a little strong-charactered.
Sounds good to me.
But it turned out great, so I am happy with the way it turned out.
Somebody needs to keep you in line. Somebody needs to keep Sludge in line.
Well,
yes.
I'm telling you, one of these dudes. And let's go ahead and let you all know. So, so the people we've got joining us, again, we're super, super excited about it. We hope you guys love these dudes. We think they're going to be great. Again, I'm trying to be nice to one of them. One of them's an absolute sweetheart. The other one is good at what he does, but can be a little pretentious to deal with. But our new guys that are coming are actually a pair of brothers. His name is Stompy, and Stompy is a complete metalhead, and that's kind of what got me and him talking when all this started. Was our love for metal and monster movies. So Stompy's a big metalhead, big monster movie fan. He's always wanted to kind of do things like this. So he was super excited to jump on board. Very outgoing. Again, can be a little rough around the edges. So
opinionated.
Very opinionated. He is extremely opinionated.
I think he's more on our side than he would be yours.
He's on the wrong side. He's on the wrong side of the fence, man.
He's with us.
But yeah, very opinionated. But I think he's going to add a very good dynamic to the show. And of course, we got his brother Frank, and Frank is the biggest sweetheart. He's just the nicest guy. Has any of you guys had an issue with him since he's come on?
No.
He's just super sweet. He's just the nice. I couldn't think I could meet a nicer dude, and Frank just is. He has a massive love for monster movies, but he also has a kind of really weird, massive love for David Hasselhoff. It's odd. He's always got
that would be That would be called a fetish.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, it's definitely an odd thing. Like, it is fetish borderline when it comes to Frank. So he's always rocking some David Hasselhoff. And he says that he actually, you can't tell by looking at him, but he works out to the Hoff, man. And he gets pretty defensive when it comes to the Hoff. So I'm like, okay. But so they're great dudes, man. We're so excited that Stompy and Frank are joining us. And, of course, you'll be seeing their lovely faces probably about the time you hear this episode. And then, of course, they will be doing all the new commercials and things, and you will get to check out their first episode. It's just going to be called the Stompy and Frank Show. We tried to come up with something clever for him, and Stompy was adamant his name had to be in the name of the show, and he kind of carries his brother along with him anyways. He's very protective of his brother. And so it's the Stompy and Frank Show. So we're pretty excited about that. Hopefully you guys will love it. You will start seeing hearing and seeing their shows, because we will be moving to a more video production as well as the audio podcast. So the goal is to actually have their shows as our first video show for the Monster Movie Stompdown. So you'll be getting that monthly, not just in podcast format, but video format.
Ooh, sounds
right.
good.
Yeah. And of course, you'll be able to check that out on the YouTube channel, which will be pretty cool.
So just to ask, me and Ruben's been here stuck in the podcast. We didn't get offer a video show of our own, did we?
No, we did. We did not.
Yeah.
No, we did not. So this,
look, man,
so this is
what else
Stompy
can I do for
comes
you?
along. All of a sudden, there's a video format.
Yeah.
And probably going to cost me like I'm going to have to go buy a $5,000 4K camera.
Oh, you know it.
Yeah, see, I was looking at I
Yeah.
knew. I was like, I don't want to put that type of financial strain on Ruben, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want to do that, you know? And I mean, and who wants to look at y'all's mugs anyways, you know? I mean,
Yeah, and I'm going to have to get lighting. I'm going to have to get
Oh,
lighting
yeah.
and all kinds of stuff.
Might check with a
I don't know.
GoFundMe page or something. I don't know.
Yeah, man, I'm going to have to get makeup so my face ain't shiny in the camera and, you know.
Yeah.
that's what we need. We are going to switch to video format because I want photos of Cindy putting makeup on Ruben. That's what I want to see. That would be perfect. So.
It's gonna be a la Ace Frehley.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Hey, look, there's a picture floating around of Mark dressed up like
no, we won't go
Frehley.
there.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, all
Yeah,
right.
it exists,
Oh,
man.
it does, but it's long been lost.
You know, when I was a kid, one of my birthday party, not my birthday party, I went to a birthday party and my friend got a kiss your face makeup kit. So you know what happened? We all got kissed up.
Oh,
Well, Mark used to be. It was a Kiss cover band, right?
yeah. Well, it was.
Is that
no,
right?
we won't even go down that road. Let's just let that go somewhere else.
Oh yeah, man. And there is photographic evidence that exists. So.
Oh man, I gotta see that.
Oh yeah.
I gotta see that.
It's nowhere to be
Hey
found.
man, you got to rock it proudly, dude. I mean, we did
Look, here.
a
There, Mark. Look. I'll let you look at this. Do you see
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Right there?
y'all can see that,
yeah.
but
There you go.
we're seeing some old
Oh,
school
liking it.
Hey.
Liking it. Look at that.
Ruben with the fro. That's
Yeah,
that's
that's it.
sweet.
that needs to be put on lines, but that what needs to happen there.
So there's my dark past.
Yeah.
But hey, man.
Nobody but y'all to see.
We were on the protest, when we were touring, man, we played Anderson University for Halloween show and we dressed up like Kiss.
I remember when you did.
Oh,
that
cool.
was a great
Yeah,
show,
I
dude.
remember when you did.
So be proud of that. All right, guys. So we've ran off for a tangent there, but
We're lost.
Yeah.
We're
so
lost,
we're gonna reel it
completely
back
lost.
and get back into the St. Patty's Day mode here for Leprechaun. So here's the trailer.
The luck of the Irish is being packed and shipped to a little town in South Dakota whose luck may have just run out.
My ear! He got my ear!
Forgot the back door, right? Ow! Gotta stop the bleeding. Look out, it's in the cabinets.
Toward the basement.
We're like really scared. Hello? I need the police. This is an emergency.
You can kill anything. What the hell are you? You just gotta know how to do it.
Leprechaun.
It's out. It's out of the crate.
Hey, this is the one-man gold mine, the one-man enterprise of professional wrestling and all entertainment, Flynn Hendricks. And you better believe when I'm looking for a good podcast to listen to, I go to my own. I go to the I Know You Hear Me podcast hosted by me, Flynn Hendricks. That is such a fresh perspective for how you should look at life, too. I love that. And then when I'm feeling spooky, I go to my other podcast, Tales from the Haunt, where myself, I want my head shoved inside a 15-pound silicone mask more. I want to have a bucket of sweat coming off me at the end of the night than just Jeff.
Dogs don't lay eggs, Flynn.
I hate you so much. Talk to other scare actors about what it takes to get into the world of scare acting. So if you're curious about how people became professional wrestlers, actors, prioritized their mental health, became entrepreneurs, avoided burnout, or got into scare acting, you need to go check out I Know You Hear Me and Tales from the Haunt, available on all podcasting platforms. And I know you hear me.
All right, so that was a trailer for the 1993 film Leprechaun, and of course the commercial for our two new guys, our two new shows for the podcast network, and that was Flynn Hendricks and Just Jeff with their shows I Know You Hear Me and Tales from the Haunt. Please check those shows out. They are great, great, great shows. And I am going to toot my own horn here. They got some new music that's just awesome. I worked really hard at that music for those dudes. So it was. Yeah, really
I heard
good.
the story behind it. It was a good one.
Yeah. So it's cool shows. Check them out. You will definitely enjoy them. Definitely something new and different, a little different for the podcast.
Dude,
and
stop.
I can't stop messing with the mic stand, dude. It's driving me crazy.
Good Lordy.
I can't decide where I want it. So, anyways, let's jump into Leprechaun. So this is just a Warwick Davis gem. So if you all don't know who Warwick Davis is, stop listening to the episode. Go look him up. Watch all the films he's been in. You should know him. He's Wicket in the Star Wars films. He was the most famous Ewok. Of course, there was two Ewok movies that spun off. Battle for Endor ruled. I love that movie. Of course, he was Willow. He was Leprechaun. He's done a bunch of other movies. He's been in several Star Wars films, actually, as other characters. And actually, him and his son were both in one of the newer Star Wars films as Ewoks, which was really, really cool. There was an awesome picture of them together.
I liked Willow.
So he was the Jar Jar Binks of the original trilogy then?
No, Wicket ruled.
Yes.
Jar Jar sucked, okay? You get out of here with that love of the second trilogy. So anyway, this movie came out in 1993. This was directed by Mark Jones, made for a less than $1 million budget, and they actually pulled in a little over $8 million. Got mixed to negative reviews when it came out, but it was successful enough to span an entire film series as well as a modern sequel and a modern remake from this. But this was also the premiere of one Jennifer Aniston, which everyone knows and loves, probably.
Which people argue that's the reason. Actually, there's stories out there. The only reason there were spinoffs is because of Jennifer Aniston. She hit it big. There was interest in her, and all of a sudden it was okay to make these.
Please, give me a break on that.
That's what I read.
I didn't see her in any of these films at all, you know?
That's what I read. I did my research. I have to with Charlie making up questions.
Oh, you got that.
That's what's
deep into
that's
that
why I'm
movie.
so cautious on what I want to tell the listeners. I'm like, but I don't want to give away answers to you guys. So
definitely.
We're going to roll with it because I tend to do that every episode now. So be paying attention, Mark, because you weren't paying attention last time, and you got
it just kind of throws me off that you have the questions before us.
I do not have the questions before.
I just don't,
It does not happen. Anyways, this movie came out in 1993, but actually got started back in a few years prior. I'm not going to tell you the year because it might turn out to be a question. But Mark Jones, the writer and director for this film, he was more prolific of a TV writer, but had always wanted to break into film and thought, a monster movie would be great. And he actually got the idea from this film from Lucky Charms and the movie Critters, is what inspired him to write Leprechaun. And he approached it to Trimark because Trimark was trying to branch into film from TV as well. They totally agreed, picked it up. The movie was actually supposed to be a lot darker in tone. It wasn't supposed to be so comedic until Warwick Davis was brought on. And Warwick wanted to kind of change a lot of his lines to make them a little more comedic. And Mark Jones just fell in love with that. That was a great idea. So that became more of a horror comedy film. And like I said, it came out in 93, did really good, or it did decent, but good enough to span a film series, which is, I mean, that says something in itself. So the movie starts off in 1983, which is close to the year that Mark started writing this film, just for you two. Make sure you're listening for the trivia section. And you got Dan O'Grady. Old man Grady has just got home from a trip to Ireland. They live in North Dakota, and he had to go bury his mom. His mom passed away, and he buried her. But he comes back in a limousine, and he's drunk, and his wife's like, "Oh, Grady, what's gotten into you? We got money for a limousine?" And he lets her know they're rich because while he was in Ireland, he caught a leprechaun, and he followed the rules. So he took his bag of gold. Well, what he doesn't realize is, he goes and hides the bag of gold on the property, that the leprechaun has followed him there. And the leprechaun proceeds to kill the old Miss Grady, the wife, and then tries to kill old man Grady, until he wants his bag of gold. So he's trying to get him to get his bag of gold. Well, of course, old man Grady knows how to stop a leprechaun. And he gets him cowered into a corner, shoots him 5 or 6 times with his gun. Of course, that doesn't kill him. Can't kill the leprechaun with a gun. Puts him into a crate, pulls a 4-leaf clover out, puts it on top of the crate, and hammers it down and seals him in there. But in the process, this has done a lot of strain on him, and he ends up having a stroke. So he's unable to finish killing the leprechaun because he plans on burning the box. He pours gasoline on it. But instead, he has a stroke, and they end up taking him to a nursing home, pretty much, where he lives the next 10 years, because this movie then fast forwards to 10 years, and you've got I forgot his first name, Jennifer Aniston's dad. His last name's Redding, and JD Redding, and Tori Redding, Tori is played by Jennifer Aniston, come and have bought old man Grady's house, and it's super run down, and they meet the painting and remodeling crew by a pair of brothers, Nathan and his younger brother Alex. And then, of course, their counterpart, who's played by the only other person you really need to know that's in this movie, Mark Holton, plays an amazing character called Ozzie Jones. Ozzie he's an adult, but he's got like the mind of a 5-year-old. Just a sweetheart of a character, super great and super awesome. At first, Tori doesn't want to stay, but of course she sees Nathan, and Nathan's, that 1990s, I wouldn't say redneck, but maybe redneck meets surfer boy kind of hunk type character, So she's like, "Oh, I'll stay. I'm not afraid of bugs. I'm not afraid of things. I'll stay, and I'll start painting." So they stay and start working on the house. During the process of this, they end up, Ozzie and Alex find the bag of the leprechaun's gold that old man Grady had hid in a broke down truck on the property. And in the process, they're testing it, and Ozzie, as awesome as he is, he's like, "I know how you can tell it's gold. You got to bite it." And so he bites it and then swallows it. So he ends up managing to swallow a piece of the leprechaun's gold. Well, of course, now, so they decide to hide the gold. They're going to take one coin into town just to test it and make sure it's real. They hide the rest of it, and they go back to working on the house. In the process of this, Ozzie gets paint poured all over him, so he has to go inside, wash it off, and he starts hearing this little girl's voice coming from the basement. And he follows it down, and it's actually the leprechaun. And he, through his clumsiness, ends up breaking the box and releasing the leprechaun because he knocks the 4-leaf clover off. And then chaos ensues, and the leprechaun's out to find his bag of gold. Of course, Ozzie tries to tell everybody, "Hey, there's a leprechaun, there's a leprechaun." No one believes him until the leprechaun finally shows up and attacks J.D. Redding. They have to send him to the hospital, and he continues to attack the rest of the cast until they find his bag of gold. And that's it. It goes from there. So they end up finding the bag of gold, giving him the bag of gold, and they think it's all good and safe. We're okay now, even though everyone's all jacked up. Nathan's got his leg all tore up from the leprechaun. JD's in the hospital. He's killed one cop, and he killed the store owner that they're checking the coin out as he's following his coins down. But he's outside counting, and he realizes he gets to 99 and one coin's missing. And that's the coin in poor Ozzie's belly. So he comes after them, so they've got to stop him before he kills Ozzie, and they go and find the old man Grady in the nursing home, or Jennifer Aniston does, and he tells her, you got to use a 4-leaf clover, put it on his body, and then you can kill the leprechaun. And so they come back. They have to search a clover patch that just happens to be on the property in North Dakota with an oddly ominous green light shining on it and nowhere else on the property. And so they're digging through. They finally find enough, or find a 4-leaf clover, and they use it to try and kill the leprechaun, which is done by Alex as he spits out a piece of gum, I think is what it was, and he wads the 4-leaf clover up with it, and he puts it in a slingshot and says, "Screw you, Lucky Charms." I can't say the word he actually uses, and which is one of the greatest lines in the movie. Shoots it, and it goes right down the leprechaun's throat, and he falls into the well, and they end up knocking him down the well and pouring gasoline. Big explosion. Leprechaun dies, or so you think, because there's always open for a sequel.
Yeah.
And you hear him at the end saying, making another curse about coming back to find his gold. Great movie, I think. Like there's so many one-liners, and especially with Warwick Davis, and just great comedic tone throughout this movie. I haven't started in a while, so I'll go ahead and start on this one. I love this, man. Like I love Warwick Davis. Even movies like Skin Deep that he was in, where he played plates, which is this psychotic serial killer where he kills people with fine china plates. To Willow. Of course, I loved him as Wicket in the Ewok films. I love this movie, man. Like, he just brings a charm to the character that I think is awesome. And it's just super cheesy. Super cheesy. A lot of jokes from him in this. They play to the benefit of the character. Like, he's chasing them into town as they go into town to take JD to the hospital. And Alex and Ozzy want to take the gold coin to the coin dealer so he can verify if it's real or not. The coin dealer, of course, wants to keep it overnight so he can, research it. And he comes and gets his coin from there. Well, as he chases them, he's chasing them on a little tricycle, and you hear that bell going ding, 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 ding the whole time. So he ends up killing the shopkeeper, the coin guy, with a pogo stick, which is just, to me, awesome because he's joking the whole time, bouncing on him. He's like, and he gets done, he's like, oh, you'll bounce right back, and then he looks in the corner and there's like a little Power Wheels car. And he's like, so now next thing you see him, he's going back to the house and he's like speeding through this little Power Wheels car, passes a cop. The cop pulls up to him, pulls him over, and he's like, "Are you supposed to be out this late, young man?" And he's like, "I'm not young, I'm 600 years old," and of course proceeds to chase down the cop and kill him. But he has fun with all of his kills, and I think it's probably what I like the most about this movie. Everything's a joke to him, and everything's fun for him. So, like, the way he kills the cop, the way he kills the guy in the antique, or the coin dealer guy, the way he goes after, Nathan and Jennifer Aniston, or Tori and Alex and Ozzy is just great. Like, it's humorous to him to kill these people, and he does it in funny ways, but they manage to get, one-ups on him when they get a chance, because they need to get JD to the hospital, or they need to get Tori to the nursing home to find out from Mr. O'Grady that how do you kill the leprechaun. So how do they do that? How do they distract him? By throwing freaking shoes, man. Like, he's a leprechaun. He used to be a shoe cleaner or shoe polisher or whatever. Yeah. And so, like, they start throwing shoes in the dirt, and he's freaking out. He's like, so instead of trying to kill him, he starts running and polishing shoes, It's like, I thought it's hilarious. Like, it's just absurd humor that has a charm to this film that makes it great. As far as, like, if there's anything I didn't like, I thought all the actors in this movie did a great job. They're above grade for a B horror film. I don't know if I'd even call this maybe a B plus horror type movie, monster movie. Because the special effects are great. George, I can't remember his name, George Batalis, who did the special effects, Gabriel Bartalis, sorry, did this. He did an outstanding job. Warwick looked awesome as the leprechaun, and then all the special practical effects for the murder scenes and all the kills and the blood. It was just really, really good, top notch for a lower budget, especially for less than $1 million. Like, they did really good with this. But all the actors were great, man. Everybody was superb. I think the only person I didn't like that much was the guy who played JD, Tori's dad, but he's not really in it that often, so I didn't care. The main characters were great, especially Mark Holton. Mark Holton as Ozzy is my favorite character in the movie. Like, he was just such a lovable guy and so funny, and he just worked great with Warwick on the screen. Like, that first scene when he breaks him out of the box, and their dialogue, I think, is just top notch. And Warwick Davis was phenomenal in this. Like, he's the reason you're watching this movie. Well, unless you're Ruben, you're watching it for Jennifer Aniston. So it's
one
of those two.
Let me tell you something. It's going to be controversial. Because friends of mine has actually wanted to beat me up for this statement. But I think, and those who don't know, Jennifer Aniston was married to Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt did a movie with Angelina Jolie. Shortly thereafter, they got divorced. He ended up with Jolie. My statement is Angelina Jolie is better looking than Jennifer Aniston. And I bet people just want to punch me in them. People just want to punch me in the mouth for that. I'm not saying Jennifer Aniston isn't pretty. I'm just saying I prefer Angelina Jolie. That's all.
That is a controversial statement right there.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
And Phoebe Cates didn't even come into
not
the
at all.
topic right there.
Now look, Phoebe Cates is, the people listening, they don't know, but my bar for Phoebe Cates is beyond the screen. Then you have Angelina Jolie. Then you have Jennifer Aniston.
There it comes. There it is.
But
there's a scale. There's a pedestal.
And everyone else falls
Phoebe Cates is
below.
on that thing. Everybody else is looking up at the pedestal. That's all I have to say about that.
But Jennifer did great in this. I mean, I think the acting was top notch. Special effects was absolutely amazing. I mean, especially when you don't have to think about it having less than $1 million budget, but when you think about it having that small of a budget, it's really impressive. Like, they did a really, really good job with the special effects on this. And I think I just had a blast. It's just an absolute fun movie. I think if they went the route of making it more just straight horror, it wouldn't have been nowhere near as good of a film, because the comedy aspect to it made it great. You know what I mean? Like, they knew they were being stupid at points. They knew they were trying to be funny at points, and they ran with it, and I think they did a very successful job at this one. Dislikes, you know what I mean? Like, the soundtracks, music's nothing really to write home about. Nothing was really impressive there at all. There was a couple characters that weren't that great. The cop he kills wasn't that great of an actor. The sheriff of the town is hilarious, and I didn't think he got utilized enough whatsoever. But I mean, not a whole lot. I mean, it's a lower budget film, but other than the soundtrack, I mean, I really didn't have many qualms with this movie, because it is what it is. It doesn't try to be something it's not. It knows it's a low budget horror comedy, and it just, to me, excelled through. I mean, just all the way excelled from beginning to end. I thought it was absolutely great. I loved it, and I've got nothing but overall, mostly just praise for this movie. I can't complain. It's just, I'm going back and watching it because I remember watching it as a kid. I enjoyed it then, and you had that, like, I had fun with it because I was a kid. I mean, what was it, 93? I'm 9 years old. Man, you really let me watch some movies. But I remember watching it. This one was pretty clean, though.
Yeah, that was a clean movie.
Yeah, it was
man.
pretty clean.
It was.
Come on.
It was.
Yeah. One or two curse words, and that's really it.
It was just silly enough that a kid would, wouldn't take it too seriously.
Yeah, I remember enjoying this movie as a kid. Like, I had fun. I laughed. I really enjoyed watching this movie. And going back and watching it again, because it has been quite a while since I've watched this, because I unfortunately did watch a few of the sequels and then totally lost interest because of those, because they went downhill real fast, real quick. But I just watching it again, I was like, man, I just felt like that kid again. You know what I mean? Like, I just was completely entertained from the moment the movie started to the time the credits rolled. I just was glued to it, and I was that 8-year-old boy again, and I just had so much fun. So, I mean, nostalgically, huge for me.
There you go.
But I mean, that's just what it was, man. It took me back to being a kid, and I enjoyed this film a lot. So I don't have really anything to complain about. Even the soundtrack deal, there was nothing impressive, but I don't really take it much off the top for this. But yeah, that's it. You guys take it. When do you guys run with this one?
Go for it, Ruben.
Okay. Well, this movie, I rated it a little lower than these guys, but I chalked that up to I didn't have the nostalgia that Sludge had on this movie, so that's why it's a little bit lower. Because I liked it. It's a good movie. It's funny. I would call it a comedy horror because it was comedy first, horror second.
Yeah.
So I call it a comedy horror.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So it was more of a comedy. The actors were more comedic than they were anything else. Of course, at the time Jennifer Aniston did this movie, nobody knew who she was. I think this was her very first credit.
Yeah, this was her first credit role.
Her first credit. So, and So, nobody knew who she was. But I liked it. I thought the Leprechaun was more funny than he was horrific. I wasn't scared. I mean, it didn't give me a horror vibe at all, other than his design was a little creepy. It was fun to see him coming out of like dark corners and things like that, because when people weren't expecting what to see, and he would pop up in front of a window or something like that. But all in all, the special effects were great for a low budget movie. I would still rate it as a B movie, not a B plus. I would call it a B movie. It's got a cult following. It's a genuine cult classic. When it came out, and I remember when it came out. But you got to remember, like you said, you were 9 years old when this came out.
Yeah,
okay.
Eight,
when
9.
it came out for me, 1993, I was already married, right? I was already in my 20s. I was 25, I guess, or 93. I wasn't. Let's see. About 25 or so. I can't do math right now. But all I remember, my wife gets mad at me. I say, well, 92, that's the year we got married, 92. And I'm like, and she goes, what's great about 92? I said, oh, that's the year the Cowboys won the championship. Super Bowl 27. But this movie came out when I was already an adult. So it wasn't even like rented at Blockbuster, because Cindy does not like horror. So it wasn't even like rented. I didn't see this till it came up on cable television.
Oh, really?
So that was that's the first time I saw it. Other than that, so we're talking about a little generational gap here between Sludge and myself. So when I see it through the eyes of almost an adult. I don't have any nostalgia there. Like I did with other movies that maybe I rented, in the late 80s. And plus, this movie, to me, I'm giving it a harder time than it should, because it is what it is. This movie is what it is. It's a comedy horror. It's a vehicle for a slasher, which really, there was 4 kills in this movie, I think.
Yeah.
There was only 4 kills in this movie. Yep. The kills were excellent. Like you touched on it before. They were excellent kills because they weren't serious. They weren't serious kills. They weren't, I don't know. His intentions never came across as evil. He just wanted his gold back. That's all he
if you
wanted.
die in the process, oh well.
If you die in the process, oh well. You just happen to be in my way. Like he was going to go cut Ozzy open just to get that gold coin. And if he would have accomplished that, it would have probably been in a very comedic way. It didn't look like it was going to be from the movie, but it might have been comedic. But all in all, I thought the movie was good. It kept my attention. I wasn't bored. Throughout. I use this word a lot, but it did follow a formula. It was taking advantage of that time period and the type of movies that were coming out in that time period. But it's just good old, Sludge uses this term too, ooey gooey fun. And that's what it was.
Yep.
Ooey gooey fun.
Yep.
And there was nothing. My only complaint, I don't really have any real complaints. So my stomp rating comes from more of a, there's a lack of nostalgia for me on it. So that always, if I give a movie points for nostalgia, I also have to take away when it doesn't do that for me. Yeah, man, there's not much to say. It's a fun movie. I really enjoyed it. Thought the special effects were great. Thought the acting was decent. And not just because of Jennifer Aniston. Now you guys know. Now you guys know that it's not like, she's not on the pedestal. Yeah. And, all in all, if somebody was asking me is that a good movie to watch? I would say, yeah, if you want to have a good, fun time. I said, it's not a scary movie at all, in my opinion. And that's about it, man. That's all I got, guys. I'm going to hand it over to Mark.
And I think I have to agree with both of you guys on this. It was a fun movie. Love to watch it. And I've watched it numerous times and enjoy it every time I watch it. If there's, to me, in the acting, Jennifer Aniston would have to be the weak link, only because maybe it's her first film, first credited film.
Definitely.
And but I thought the cast was just fantastic. All of them did a great job.
Yep.
And you're right. It is a comedy horror. I mean, that's the first thing, you notice with it just from the get-go, from the start, from Miss O'Grady falling down the stairs and breaks her neck. that kind of stuff. But I think most everything on it was, did you pick this movie out, or we just came across that? But I just thought it was, as soon as we brought it up, I was like, oh yeah, man, I'm into watching this.
Yeah.
This is going to be a good
I don't
one.
remember. I don't know. As soon as you said St. Patrick's, the first thing that came out of my mouth was Leprechaun.
Oh yeah,
but I don't know how that came.
I think
I think
had
that in mind already.
all three of us.
I think it was a unanimous. I think we all said it at the same time.
So it turned out good, but the special effects are good for the year, for what they worked with, what they had to work with. Great movie overall.
Yeah, I mean, super, super good, super fun. I mean, it is just absolutely fun. I mean, and even when it comes to the ratings, it got a slight ding for me. And I'll say this, and we'll get over to the ratings for this, only because Mark Jones did this, and Mark Jones did another movie 2 years later that I absolutely love, and that was Rumpelstiltskin. And the only reasons that I kind of dinged this one for that one is just because the dialogue. Like, the dialogue in Rumpelstiltskin, is spot on some of the best dialogue of any horror movie character ever.
Yeah. But that's hard to ding him for something that hasn't happened yet.
I know, but he's been writing for years.
Like, that was his stepping stone. He's improving.
That's true. That is true. Yeah. But I mean, knowing this is Mark's film, and of course both of those are Trimark movies. Yeah. And I go back and look at it, I'm like, oh man, it's so good.
Is that one of the questions in the trivia?
So I have no idea.
I was just checking.
But I mean, like if we go, that's me going, okay, if we ever review Rumpelstiltskin, I'm going to have to give it a higher rating than I do Leprechaun.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, so that's kind of where I was at. Like, I'm like, I mean, same crew, same director, writer, and so I was like, I would rate Rumpelstiltskin a little bit better, so that did affect my score here. But let's find out, man.
And I am working. One of my downfalls is I forget my stomp ratings a lot of times. So I'm going back and listening to all our old shows and recording. I'm going to make a spreadsheet with all our stomp ratings so we can kind of reference that.
That's a good idea. Thank you, Ruben.
Yeah, it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while, but I'll get it. I'll get there.
That's why he's the master right there.
Here it comes.
That's right.
The master of BS. He's going after it.
That was a backhanded compliment, wasn't it? He's a master of BS. Like, hey, wait a minute, man.
All right.
That's great.
Let's do it. It's Stompdown rating time. All right. Collectively, this movie got a 3.5 from all of us. So very fun, very good movie to watch. It's very entertaining. And it individually kind of went across the board. I mean, like, I originally was going to give this a 4, but I brought it down to a 3.5 because, again, Rumpelstiltskin. Ruben, you gave it the lowest. Mark gave it a 3.5. You gave it a 3.
I gave it a 3. Yeah.
And then I guess it's from the nostalgic factors why that really
that's it
happened.
Yeah, I just dinged it half a stomp, but because of that, otherwise, it to me it's right in there with a lot of these movies that we do some high. This is how can I put this? Some higher echelon movies that we've done throughout our shows. I mean, this is our 90th episode? Are we
81st? We're close.
81st episode.
I said that at the beginning. Episode 81. Yeah. I'm just checking.
Hey, for the last 80 shows, you said it at the beginning.
So, see, my co-host.
I don't know why I thought we were at 90 for some reason. I'm way ahead because in my mind I'm already planning for the next 10. But we've done some, and then we've done some in the middle, and there's a lot of stuff in the middle,
Yeah.
And this is one of those movies that kind of gets it's right there in the middle. It's not that it's bad. It's just that there's a bunch of stuff that's we've done some pretty dang good movies, and then we have all these in the middle here that are all fun.
It's the meat and potatoes.
It's the meat. Exactly. There you go. It's the meat and potatoes. It's what gets you through the day. These movies get you through the day, man. You can pop one of these movies in after a long day. If you want to just have a good laugh, maybe sit there with a beer and watch Leprechaun. Good beer, bad movie night.
There you go.
Well, if you're watching
this is not. I wouldn't consider this a bad movie. I really wouldn't. But it's good to sit there, have a beer, and kind of laugh and have fun, kind of a movie. and maybe get a couple of jump scares out of somebody who's never seen a movie before. So, but no, man, it's great. I mean, my only ding was nostalgia. That's basically it.
Anything you particularly dinged it for, Mark, or was it just the meat and potatoes?
No, it was the meat and potatoes. I mean, there's nothing really to ding on it other than, if I'm real life, I'm probably going to smack Jennifer Aniston because she is hanging on to my belt loop through the whole thing.
If they would have cast, if they would have cast Angelina Jolie in it, it would have been much better.
I'd have slapped her too.
Yeah. But Angelina Jolie was too busy making serious films while Jennifer Aniston was doing this. Yeah,
good point there.
So yeah, all right, guys, there you go, man. 3.5 overall from us. Super fun movie. It is. It's meat and potatoes horror, comedy horror. It's just you're guaranteed to have just a fun good time. It's just fun.
Oh yeah,
so don't expect anything like Alien or Godzilla or Frankenstein. Not one of those pinnacle monster movies, but it is just a good time to.
That's the word I was trying to pull out of there. Pinnacle. That's the word.
Yeah. So
I couldn't get that. I just couldn't get it out.
All right. Well, hey, it is time for the next part of the show that everyone's talking about, man. People seem to love this. I know we've been having a blast with it, but you know what? It's time to test your might.
Test your might. Test your might. Test your might. Test your might. Test your might.
All right. So last time, of course, I won again, and
well, let's listen to that.
I'm still crying. Hey, you know what? I'm still going with the Des Caught It, man. That Rocky Maivia was Des Caught It.
But so now,
if you don't know what I'm talking about when I say Des Caught It, look it up.
I'm gonna have to because I have no idea. But so you guys
don't know what did?
I probably do. I just can't think of it. But I might have to look it up. But so now you guys had to watch a movie for losing, and that was It Conquered the World. And Mark, what did you think about it?
Well, there was a cucumber creature on there, and that's about all I know about it.
Wait. So you didn't watch this movie, did you?
Well, I was busy.
Okay. Oh, like busy, like me and Charlie busy. Even though we have time to get work done and do things.
Wait a minute. I had to watch the movie. So how come?
Wait a minute. Okay, let's be real
Ruben,
about
you've
this.
Been busy too.
Ruben forgot it.
Yeah,
and I forgot it.
Hey,
2 hours before the show.
wait a minute. Ruben, did you watch it before the show?
I did.
Oh, there you go. That's all that matters. Mark did not.
Oh, I watched the trailer.
So I think.
I watched the trailer.
I think a penalty is in order.
Oh no!
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
what is this?
So
I'll accept my punishment. Go ahead.
You just heard him. He said he accepts his punishment.
He said he'd accept his punishment.
Except I'm not like dancing with Stompy on video or anything.
You don't have to do that. So,
oh man, that's a great idea.
Here's your punishment. So for those listening, you're going to hear it. You have to. Now I'm gonna hold my camera up because
we're not.
Yeah, we totally are. And you have to read what is written on this piece of paper and look at the camera.
What?
Yep.
No way.
Oh yeah. Here you go. Look at the camera and read.
My name is Mark, and RoboCop is my favorite movie. RoboCop is the best movie of all time. Are you kidding me? No.
You heard it from Mark himself.
Okay.
That is his favorite movie. He admitted it on air. So we know the truth now.
I blame you, Charlie. I blame you, Charlie.
Thank you for your cooperation.
I was talking and he was jotting down stuff. I'm like, what is he doing? Is he writing a review on what I'm saying? What is he doing?
Oh man.
Gosh.
So all right. Thank you, Mark, for taking your penalty like a man. So then now we know the truth.
Hey, That went a lot easier than I thought it was.
Well,
gonna be.
Yeah, I did too. That's why I'm glad he said, "I'll take my punishment." I'm like, "You heard him. You heard him."
But you just don't know how I feel inside right now.
No.
All right. Well, Ruben, what did you think of this film? It Conquered the World.
I think it conquered nothing.
What?
I think it was the only thing good about it is I liked the cast had a lot of familiar faces.
Yeah, it did have a pretty.
Lee
Yeah.
Van Cleef, Lee Van, and I'd never seen him. I mean, well, I'm trying to think. I might have, but he's a Western guy.
Oh yeah,
I've seen him in so many Westerns. Lee Van Cleef, and then I forgot Bill. I think Bill Miller. Am I saying this? No, not Bill Miller. That's the barbecue guy.
Bill Travers.
Oh, what's his?
No,
he was a sergeant. He was a sergeant
Yeah.
of the army. Bill something. I can't think of his name. He's been in so many movies. He's one of those guys that you see his face but never know his name. And
Peter Graves.
It was
Peter Graves.
Peter Graves was in it. Yeah, Peter. I'm like, oh, you got a lot of familiar faces, but
Oh wait, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
Oh, I did. I had to watch some of the movie.
But so I thought, well, it's got these guys in it. He wouldn't take this. He wouldn't take this movie if it was bad. Boy, it was bad. It was nothing. It was. There was no. And then you don't get the money shot till the very end. You don't see the alien till the very end.
Nope.
And I'm like, man.
Well, they
they
kind of had to do that for a reason, man.
They did.
That is one of the worst aliens.
You're right, because as soon as you see him, you're like, okay, I'm done. That's it. This way you're an hour in before you just decide you're reminded that you're watching a terrible movie. And you're like, oh man, I waited all that for this. I mean, I waited all this time for this. So it was quite as having to watch a movie that for losing a trivia contest, it was very fitting. Let's just put it that way.
Good. So.
Yeah, it was very fitting.
All right, so there you guys go. Don't watch It Conquered the World because it is a big waste of time. What blew my mind, me and Ruben were talking about before the show, then this lets us know how bad or how critics just don't know what they're talking about, because that movie has an 80% critics rating at Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh yeah,
that's got like a 30% audience score, and that's still a little too high in my opinion, or a lot high.
I mean, I don't see how, because I wouldn't even call this a cult classic. No,
I wouldn't even give this a 10% rating. Like not this.
I would have been no. Usually I'll take a movie and say, okay, what kind of situation would I watch this in? And I could not think of a situation that I would watch this movie.
Yes. All right. All right. Well, let's move into our next round of questions. Are you guys ready? Paper and pen in hand. Mark, no cheating.
I ain't cheating.
All right. Here we go.
Are those the questions or the answers?
The questions.
Then why are you looking at it?
I got to ask the questions.
Okay.
All right.
It's brewing. It's brewing.
Number 1. Jennifer Aniston and Courtney Cox both have appeared in music videos during their careers. What other Friends castmate appeared in 2 Bon Jovi music videos? A. Matthew Perry, B. Matt LeBlanc, or C. Lisa Kudrow? What a question, Charlie!
Thanks, Charlie.
Don't
look at my answer.
I ain't looking at your answer.
Yours
is wrong.
That's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
I can see. It's not Lisa Kudrow, so I'm gonna wipe her right out. I don't believe
he's lying. He's trying to trick you.
Let's throw a little bonus in here. What video was Courtney Cox in?
Oh, that's easy. Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah. Sludge did not know that.
You want to go deeper?
No.
What was
I said no. Didn't
what
you
was
hear me?
Courtney Cox's film debut?
It wasn't Scream, was it?
No.
Well, I don't know.
You guys suck. That would be one Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren. Thank you very much.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Now that we finished testing our own mic, what were the first 2 again? Matt LeBlanc and who else?
Okay, A. Matthew Perry, B. Matt LeBlanc, or C. Lisa Kudrow.
I'm gonna go with. Okay.
Don't say what you're gonna go with.
No.
I'm guessing on that one. I'm telling you. Now,
me too.
Jada or her mom would know the answer to that. Number 2, before playing Ozzy in Leprechaun, actor Mark Holton played another lovable character in a popular movie from the 80s. What was his character's name in that movie? A. Harold, B. Rolly, or C. Chubby?
I don't know that neither.
Man, Charlie got some good ones here.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Say them again one more time. I'm sorry. Rolly.
A. Harold, B. Rolly, or C. Chubby?
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm having to guess these ones. He went good here.
Yeah.
The movie It Conquered the World was filmed in how many days? A. 5, B.
Are you
9,
kidding?
or C. 13?
Wait.
Movie. What does this have to do with them? Oh, I studied for Leprechaun.
It Conquered the World was filmed in how many days? A. 5, B. 9, or C. 13? God, I know which one it isn't.
Okay.
What are you doing on your phone?
Well, because I think that all three of those answers are wrong.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I'm going to dispute that one. I'm going to dispute that one. I've already got it written down, so I can't. I won't.
I already have it written down too.
All right.
Change.
I got mine. So, all right, let's find out here. Let's go to the answers. And so, for the first question, which other Friends star was in two Bon Jovi music videos? A. Matthew Perry, B. Matt LeBlanc, or C. Lisa Kudrow? The correct answer is B. Matt LeBlanc.
Yeah. Hey, I got one.
I had no idea.
Right. I got that one wrong.
All right, I'm feeling good about myself.
Number 2.
You may have just won that with that answer.
Before playing Ozzy and Leprechaun, Mark Holton played another lovable character in a popular movie from the 80s. What was his character's name? A. Harold, B. Rolly, C. Chubby? The answer is C. Chubby in Teen Wolf and Teen Wolf 2.
I remember that. That was a guess, but I got it.
My wife just texted and said, I got one question. I got question 1 right. She said, we're listening to this. All right. And number 3, how many days did they film It Conquered the World? A. 5, B. 9, or C. 13? The answer is A. 5 days.
Oh, I swept it, baby. Here you go.
Did you really sweep that?
Yeah, I sure did.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I didn't want to.
See, he dug deep there because I have no clue about Friends.
I you know what? When I watched it, it was a 5-day movie. Let me just put it that. I guessed it.
You
know what? The way this sucker was made, it was 5 days. So,
all right, Ruben, you won that round. Mark, did you get any of them right?
No,
he got none of them right.
Bombed them all.
I got one. So I forgot about Mark Holton being in freaking Teen Wolf and Teen Wolf 2. That is right. So, all right, Ruben, what are we watching?
Do it, Ruben. Get it over.
Okay. Mark might not mind this one. You guys are going to watch Kiss Meets the Phantom of the
Oh, I'm on it.
Oh, dude, totally down for that one. Yeah.
On it.
Yeah.
Dude.
I may still have it on VHS at the house somewhere.
Do you?
I didn't expect that kind of.
I've got it on DVD upstairs.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thanks, Ruben.
Ruben,
So
you just made our night.
Yeah.
I'm going to go home and watch it now.
Didn't we just talk about being, both dressing up as Kiss characters and playing?
Yeah. What in the world?
It's funny because I'm like, man, I wonder if, but it's a cheesy movie. So I'm like, you know what? I'm almost tempted to change it now.
Oh, man.
Y'all's elation.
We nailed it down there.
Oh, man.
Can't wait to tell you all about Kiss Meets Phantom in the Park.
Yeah.
So.
There you go. That's all right. That's okay.
All right.
Just remember that, guys, what I just did for you guys.
Yeah. That's why he was throwing us a bone that time, right?
Unknowingly, you just remember.
Because I almost didn't go that way. I'm like, man, but it's Kiss. Who doesn't like to watch Kiss?
Oh, I'm on
but
it.
I'm like,
I am on that one.
Yep, I'm totally down. So I'll be excited to watch that movie. All right, guys. Well, man, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Ruben knocked it out of the park with that one. He guessed good. Guessed lucky on that one. So.
And you know what? It was all guesses except for the Teen Wolf. I remembered him from Teen Wolf.
From that one.
Other than that, I'd guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, the friends one had me for a complete loop. I was like, what? I had
I knew it was in Kudrow. I said nope, and I don't see Matthew Perry doing that, so I went with LeBlanc.
That
was a guess too.
I had no idea.
Because I was thinking LeBlanc hadn't even done any music videos. I was thinking maybe it was Matthew Perry. Because every time you see Matthew Perry in the behind the scenes stuff from back in the day, he always had like an MTV shirt on. I remember seeing a lot of pictures with him.
Well, I just know that every time,
yeah.
every time a Bon Jovi video came on, I turned it. So
that's exactly right. That's why I took a guess. I'm like, I never
Dude, and like
watched
the
that.
only
Why am I
Bon
gonna
Jovi
watch
video
this?
I've ever seen was the I don't even know if it's the actual music video, but was the or the first official, but was the live video for "Living on a Prayer" that's in the stadium.
Just the stage version.
Yeah.
Like
But I will say I did see him in concert. So I
Oh no, wait!
Oh,
There was one other one. Didn't he do that song that was in Robin Hood with Costner and?
I don't.
Oh yeah, he did.
What song was that?
I forgot all about that. Yeah, man, I forgot all about that. Too.
What was that? Bon Jovi or was that Bryan Adams?
No, it was Bryan.
Okay,
Adams.
never mind. So never mind. So that's it. Living on a Prayer, and that's about it. So,
and I've seen Bryan Adams too.
I've seen.
I wish I'd have seen Bryan Adams.
So, all right, guys. Well, thank you all so much. We have a couple other things we want to let you know about because again, we have a lot for you in this episode. We have a new content package coming for you starting next week. We've already got the Monday, we've got the underdogs. Friday, we got our Friday night fights, which you guys are seeming to enjoy. So I'm glad you guys are, even though Charlie totally cheated on Friday nights, Gilman versus Gilman. That was just not cool because everyone's like, deciding between the two, the OG Creature from the Black Lagoon or the Monster Squad. And Charlie's like, I picked Gilman. Like, they're both Gilman, dude. Like, you cheater. You picked Gilman. Like, come on, man. But no, we have got a new one, and this one is all Ruben, man. We have starting next week on Wednesday a new thing for you guys that you can only get by joining the Facebook group or following us on Instagram. It is going to be Monster Mash Wednesdays. Ruben, tell us about Monster Mash Wednesdays.
All right, Monster Mash Wednesdays. I'm going to take a track from a movie. Usually, it'll be out of the soundtrack, or it'll be a song that's related to monsters. It could be from any genre. It could be metal. It could be pop. It could be a soundtrack from a movie, a la, something maybe out of a Godzilla movie, or Gamera, or something like that. And I will post the music, and I will post a little summary on how it was made, what instruments were used, who wrote it, who performed it, orchestra-wise or band-wise. And I'm going to try to get as in-depth as possible and try to make it fun for you guys.
So I'm pretty stoked about it. Nate is too. We brought this up.
Nate, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure Nate is. Me and Nate have the kind of same taste in music.
Oh, yeah. Me and Charlie are pretty sure that Nate's going to steal that idea from you. So I think he's. He's like,
oh yeah.
We brought it up on the Give Me Back My Horror Movie episode that was just released, and Nate was like, "Oh man, he thought it was a great idea." So I think it's pretty cool. So
yeah, I think. I'm going to have fun with it. I won't say what I'm going to start with, but it's going to be a classic. It's going to be a classic that I'm going to start with. And it's, and then from there, I'm just going to have fun with it. So who knows what you guys may get. You may get some black metal. You may get or unblack metal. I'll keep it to unblack. Yeah. But there's not many of those in the soundtrack. But just to know, it'll be different genres. It'll be, it won't be just, stuff straight out of a soundtrack. It could be anything. It could be a title of a song, could be monster related. So I'm pretty stoked about it. I already have a list of songs that songs or tracks that I'm going to do. And so I'm good for about 6 weeks before I even have to think of a new idea.
Yeah, so, that's awesome.
So now it's just the work of putting it all together and then posting it every Wednesday. And I hope you guys like it. And if there's once I post it, man, don't be afraid to send in some suggestions for me. I'd be happy to throw them in there. Because I'm really, if you can't tell, I'm pretty excited about it. I'm happy. I really want to put that out there for everybody to see and give their opinion.
So it's going to be awesome. So, and again, you can only get that as well as the Underdogs and Friday Night Fight. That is exclusive content we have for you guys every week that you can only find on our Facebook group page and our Instagram page. So go follow us, join the group, or follow us on Instagram. And then, of course, check us out anywhere. If you're Facebook, make sure and join the group. We'd love to talk to you, and we all have fun in there talking about things like this and doing these extra content. Follow us on Instagram. You can check us out on YouTube because, of course, we do commercials now for these video commercials. You can check those out on the YouTube channel as well. And, of course, we've got the new Stompy and Frank show coming out in April, and you'll be finding that exclusively on YouTube as well. Follow us and rate us on Spotify and, of course, anywhere that you can listen to podcasts. Because we got a big month coming up next month, man. We not only is it Sludge's birthday next month, and we are doing a double feature at the beginning of the month with two of my absolute two favorite Ray Harryhausen films. We're going to do a cool double feature for you guys of 20 Million Miles to Earth and Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. So the origin of Godzilla and the origin of Ralph from Lizzie from Rampage.
Rampage.
In one movie. So we got that, and then we're going to kind of get a little deep on you with a 2016 movie called The Monster. We brought this up, and me and the guys have been talking about it, and I think it's a little deeper than most of the monster movies we do, and I think that would be a cool little spin. But we're doing The Monster next month as well, and then of course the Stompy and Frank show.
Wait a minute, my notes are. I have Monster Hunter, so it's
Monster. That's this month.
Yeah, Monster Hunter's
this month.
Oh, okay. You see, I'm confused as heck now.
All right.
He's talking April.
Yeah, I'm talking April. So this month, we've got Monster Hunter coming next.
Yes.
And then next month, we've got a double feature of 20 Million Miles to Earth, Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, and then we're going to do The Monster next month.
In April.
So, and then you guys, of course, be looking out for everything from Stompy and Frank. We're stoked about it. You guys are going to get to see their first show next month as well. You guys got anything else?
I'm good.
No, I'm disappointed that I didn't disappoint y'all for the movie pick.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. I'm sorry, like,
you have took care of us.
Yeah. So, thank you so much. So, and thank all of you listening. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. This is Sludge.
And Mark.
And you got Ruben in Texas.
Y'all have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Come on, you hey! You want to live forever?
Now what?
But no matter what happens, Godzilla will win.
What a great pick, Ruben. Yeah, I was not expecting that whatsoever.
Oh, he thought he had us too.
Yeah, you had that look like you're like, I got him.
Oh yeah, no nail him.
Good.
And I had two far worse movies. And then I said, no, you know what? I'm going to give him Kiss Meets the Phantom. That's what I'm going to give him. Because I figured Sludge would hate the bad effects on it, and he just, but instead, he got a big old smile on his face.
Oh, yeah.
I will always suspect.
Oh, yeah. You know it. Yeah. There is. It's
how do we know they didn't talk earlier?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
How do you know they didn't? How do you know? Oh, they didn't discuss it over breakfast.
I think what happens here is Chase emails Charlie earlier in the week.
That's right.
And then we're sitting here and like we're supposed to believe that Charlie's actually doing this running late.
I told him, I said, dude, your first mistake was thinking you can make them happy.
Yeah,
they're still talking about me. You were seeing this early.